Well, hello and welcome. My name is Velma. You can connect with me at velmanolds.com. This is all about your leadership chat. What does that mean? You get to listen in on valuable insights from valuable leaders just like you. I want to encourage you to go ahead and subscribe so that you never miss another episode. And if this is of value to you, please share the nuggets that you're going to take away from all these great leaders. So, hey, please give a big welcome to my good friend and your valuable leader, Jennifer Leake. Hey, Jennifer, welcome to your leadership chat.
Well, thanks. It's really good to see you. I've missed you.
Oh, man, it is so good. And virtual hug. So consider yourself hugged, because for those that are listening in, Jennifer and I met, I don't even know how long ago it was, but we were at a conference. We kind of just, from one end of the room to the next, we kind of just met in the middle. And we connected there. And it's just amazing how things happen in life, because we have stayed connected ever since. We were both speakers at that conference and learning together. And I've learned so much from Jennifer. And I know you guys are going to love to hear her insight, the valuable insight she's going to share today. So, well, Jennifer.
Velma, you know that I have a credo in my, like a slogan in my life. If I meet you and I love you, you're stuck with me forever. So
look. Okay. Well, everybody be forewarned. Okay. Be forewarned here. I'm giving you a warning. If you meet Jennifer, you're stuck for life. So, Jennifer, let's kick things off. And can you tell the listeners a little bit about you and what you do?
Well, I was originally trained as a pharmacist and was in the pharmaceutical industry. Something that we're going to maybe talk about when we talk about leadership. I had great bosses, and I had a boss that I didn't like, which drove me out of the industry.
Right.
And I started my own consulting firm and started to make a passion of how do I help people not lose a career because they can't stand their boss, right, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And but the pharmacist in me, the sort of the diagnostician, really wanted to know how do we know more about people? And that's what drove me into assessments. And I started with assessments way back when there was not that many, and just grew up with the assessment industry till now. There's hundreds and hundreds of them, and they're online. And we were doing pencil paper things. So I combine. I combine information on people with my knowledge of business and how to get them to be more productive, so that they're happy and the company's happy and the bosses are happy. So,
wow. Yeah. And, and it's such an important thing now, because everything that we're going through at this time in this season, people are reevaluating, right? Mm-hmm. Their mm-hmm. whole value and the values that they have and where they are investing their life and their time. So, it's such a perfect time to say, you bringing in, hey, understanding from an assessment standpoint, understand what your strengths are, understand yourself better. And then for a company to be able to understand their people and then have that such a good fit for culture. So people are happy. So right. I love that. I love the end result there.
I started to work with the employee engagement, and right. In 1990, we coined the phrase, and we said a third of people are engaged and the rest are not. When I did a talk in 2015, I did research on employee engagement, and guess what? A third of the people are engaged and 2/3 are not. And here we are in 2023, and a third of the people are engaged and 2/3 are not. So since 1990, we've not moved the needle. And that's why I created Best Job Ever, because if you're not doing 3 key pieces, hiring them for fit, like you said,
right,
and engaging them so that the work team is doing really well together, and then developing bosses that lead well, right. You're not ever going to move the needle. So that's my mission right now, is to bring a Best Job Ever culture with 3 key components that have to be done, maybe not simultaneously. And then that's how we're going to move that needle on employee engagement.
Wow. Well, you are certainly living your passion. And it's something that, there's a moment in time that really created this whole new direction for you. You're like, I don't want people to have to go through what I went through.
Exactly.
And so I can feel that in everything you say. And I knew that from when I met you. So my next question is around, who in your life, has been a valuable leader, someone that you would say, this person has made such a tremendous impact in my life, and they have helped me to become the person I am today, or to have the passion that you have today in the work that you do? Who is that person, and why would you say that?
Well, it goes all the way back 100 years ago to when I was 16.
Right.
And my first job, other than babysitting and stuff, my first job was in a drugstore. And my boss, to this day, I do this exercise where you think of your best boss and ask questions about him, and we define why they were their best boss.
Right.
And he always comes to mind when somebody says, who was your best boss?
Wow.
All the way back when I was 16, it was a small community drugstore. Mm-hmm. And we were all pretty much high school kids, but we were well trained. We knew what we had to do,
right.
We knew our role, and we knew that our boss really cared about us,
Wow.
And then we liked each other. We never put a classified ad in when we needed a person. We just called, said to a friend, hey, there's an opening. And he was almost like a pseudo dad, he just took care of us. Mm. And then when I was in college, first I was a math major, then I was a chemistry major, and I'm like, okay, I'm running out of things because I don't want to do imaginary numbers in math, and I didn't like biochemistry. And so he said, I've been telling you for years you should be a pharmacist. So not only did he guide me in my career a little bit, but he helped me get into pharmacy school because I had to transfer from a 2-year from another college that I was at. So he just cared about me, and I became a pharmacist, and I loved being a pharmacist. And then he sold the store, and I didn't like the guy I worked for, and that's how I got into the pharmaceutical industry. But he was just, a very influential person to a bunch of high school kids. That was especially me. And then when I went into the pharmaceutical industry, there was a man there who was the regional vice president. And he, again, had those same traits. I knew that I was respected and valuable, and I knew exactly what I wanted. I'm the type of person, don't micromanage me. He would say, you can make a mistake, but you got to let me know first. I don't mind mistakes. If you learn from, I mind being surprised. So, I just had some great mentors in my life at an early age, which definitely to this day, if you go on my website, you'll see the story of me at the drugstore, because it still is a great impact and guided my life in many ways.
Wow. And I'm sure if they're here, or if they ever heard this, they would just be, sometimes we have these people in our life that are valuable leaders, that are heroes, that they don't even have any idea how much of an impact in a positive way they've made in our life. And so, if they're still with you, I encourage you to share that part of this with them, because it would be such a surprise to them. And they would just be like, really? I made that difference in your life. That's incredible.
I think that's great advice, Velma, because there's a couple people that I never did tell, like my 8th grade English teacher. Didn't recognize how good she was until I got older. And I have always regretted not telling her. So I definitely, tell the listeners, if you got somebody, you don't know how long they're going to be here. You don't know when when you won't have them. So make that call today. Reach out to that person and tell them how important they were in your life.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, great advice. And I completely agree with you. So, now we know that you know what it means to have a valuable leader in your life. And you've been very blessed not to just have one, you've had two. And I'm sure we could talk about a number of other people. We could sit here and you could say, and this person and this person. But I want to, acknowledge that, you know what it is to have that type of direction and that caring and support and that just influence from a valuable leader. So my other question is, on the other side of the scale, right? What is Jennifer doing that you would say, this is how I am helping other people today become more valuable as leaders, live a more valuable life? How are you making an impact in others' lives today?
That's a really easy question to answer. And that is, about 4 years ago, I really discovered emotional intelligence.
Yes.
And it's a shame because it's not being taught. The younger people don't know it. Leaders aren't developed in it. And then with COVID, we were all hooked, in our basements on Zoom. So it was important before. And I think it's even more important now and it's how we impact others. And I think there's several components of emotional intelligence, but I think
Mhm.
one is, I'll just limit it to four, and one is awareness, both self-awareness and
Right.
awareness of others. It's managing our emotions in a positive way and the emotions of and reacting to the emotions of others. So
Sure.
stop being a Karen and watching Karen videos, and because that just affects you. So an awareness of others and self emotions, to be authentic, to be real, to it's okay to make a mistake, and it's okay to be very transparent.
Mhm.
I think you want, as a leader, you have to be a positive influence. I've had bosses that made an
Right.
impact. And when I sometimes ask, okay, who's your worst boss? I'm going to tell you they're as memorable
Yeah.
as your best boss. And
Wow.
I've had it as long as 40 years ago, somebody remembering that best or worst boss.
Yeah.
So awareness of emotions, being authentic, being a positive influence, because there's not a whole bunch of that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
And then I think lastly is being resilient. And how can you grow these traits in yourself as a leader? Not only because it doesn't just affect business. If you can grow your emotional intelligence,
Yeah.
it doesn't make you just a better boss, a better employee. It makes you a better family member, a better community member, just makes you a better person. So highly, highly, say you got to be understanding emotional intelligence and get some training in it too. And that's one of
Yeah.
the biggest things we're doing right now.
Okay, so that's what you do in, best job ever is really helping to expose, if you will, people to emotional intelligence so that they
Mhm.
can learn more about themselves and then apply that in their life so they can have better relationships and connections and, just influence and impact. I love what I wrote down, how do you impact others and understanding emotional intelligence and all the traits that are involved in there. Position you to do that better. So, yeah, that's awesome.
Because our normal brain is reptilian. And so we're going to be reacting
Yes.
emotionally to, is this going to eat? I heard a video the other day. They said, our reptilian brain says, can I eat it? Will it eat me? Or can I mate with it? So, and that's really what our reptilian brain only cares
Oh
about.
my gosh, I did not see that coming, Jennifer. But that's a good one. Okay, well, all right. So, thank you for being on the leadership chat. You given me a good laugh there. Now, my next question is around the fact that you've got people listening, and we don't know when they'll listen in. And people are listening now. It could be years from now. And that's the beauty of technology. But, at this season in your life, if you had to give one big takeaway, like if you had to say, if I could tell people that are listening here or others that will listen in, if I could tell them one big thing, what would that big takeaway be as to how they can become a more valuable leader in their own life, their career, their business, their families? What would you say?
Well, the last 4 years, I've really been researching that,
Yeah.
reading and working with clients. And I would say that if you want to lead well, you have to do these three things. You have to connect with people individually, especially your employees, those who report to you.
Right.
You have to be respected by them. And that's not something that just comes with a title. You
Right.
have to inspire your employees as a leader. You have to inspire others and develop them as a leader. And then lastly, there has to be some production going on. You have to grow personally, and you want to grow others too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you are connecting with your people, if you are respecting them and they respect you back, and if you are producing through others,
Mm-hmm.
you will be a good
Love
leader.
it. Yeah. Oh, I love
You will
it.
be a valuable leader.
I love that. That is, yeah. And they will value you and they will want to follow you, and people will want to do more for you when they feel like you connect with
Mhm.
them, authentically connect with them. You respect them as an individual and what they have to contribute to. You value what
Mhm.
they say, And then the third one you said was that you talk about performance or getting results, but that you help them to win, help them to be a
Mhm.
productive contributor to the team or to life in general.
Right.
People want to feel like they're contributing, that they that they're appreciated for what they're doing and that they can add value to your organization. That's beautiful. I love it. Connect, respect, and then did you title it performance, or what do you call it?
Produce.
Yeah.
I want to you have to connect with them. You have to produce. And then, like, when I say produce, you have to make things happen. You have to make things happen through other people. You can't do it all by yourself.
Right.
And then you have to create a bench and a leadership culture so that you don't have to have the title of leader to be a leader in an organization. Act as if, and then you'll become.
I love it. That is awesome. Thank you. What great nuggets for us. That's a big takeaway. Thank you. That's spot on. So tell us now. Tell us, how can we, how can people connect with you? I know you love people to connect. So how can they connect with you, learn more about you, follow you, or, get more of whatever your materials are that you are producing, your content? How would you share us to get in contact and follow you?
Well, one way is go on LinkedIn to Jennifer Leake. And if you do send me an invite, say, hey, I heard you with Velma. So, because if you just say, would like to add you to my network, I'm not sure I would do that. I'm not trying to get to be a number on LinkedIn. I'm trying to really form great connections that we can all support each other. So LinkedIn would be a place you can get me. My website's right behind me. Whoops, on this side. Hold on, I have to do this backwards.
I know, right?
I know. My website's assessmentpros.com.
Okay.
And we're getting ready to launch a new website. So there's going to be a bunch of new stuff on that. And that's where you'll find things like webinars I'll be doing, and a podcast. I'm going to be starting the Best Job Ever podcast, where I'm going to be interviewing people who believe they're in their job and bosses who believe that they are they are developing a culture of best job ever. So you can get it from the employee and the boss perspective, or the leader perspective. So the website would be a good source of what's going on. There's a lot of new things we're going to be launching in 2023.
Yeah. Okay. So assessmentspros.com.
No plural, just assessmentpros.com.
Right. Assessmentpros.com or LinkedIn. And exactly. Great. Use Velma. Say, I heard Jennifer, I heard you on Velma's, podcast video, Your Leadership Chat. And I know she's going to, if you say that, then she knows you're legit. Because we're like these kindred spirits here. This has been awesome. You have been such a fabulous guest. I can't thank you enough, Jennifer. It's been a lot of fun. So, hey, thanks so much for watching another episode of Your Leadership Chat. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button here and tap that bell icon so that you never miss another episode. I hope too that you'll give us a thumbs up on the video for a like. And then if you feel led, please share the video with those who need to see it. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Your Leadership Chat. Bye for now.